Hi, everyone. Welcome to DevRunner. I'm Paul, and this is Subscriber Spotlight, where I have conversations with inspiring runners to motivate you on your running journey. My guests today are gardeners, homesteaders of a sort, runners, and fellow YouTube hosts hailing from Great Britain. Their eponymously named channel, Kelly and Doug, is full of great advice on gardening, self-sufficiency, and increasingly on running. I find their videos to be a wonderful and peaceful respite from the usual online noise. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Thank you, Kelly, and thank you, Doug, for being here. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's kind words. And we always look forward to your content. I noticed you uploaded your new training for the boys about 5 hours ago, and I was going to try and watch it. And I will do, the minute we finish talking now, I'm going to watch and see how they all got on last week.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a bit of a last minute post for me, but yeah, it's the last one before those guys go into their race, so it's a little bit exciting. But let's focus on you guys, because this is all about you and your wonderful channel. I want more people to find out about it. So I'm hoping just to jump in, you guys can kind of give us a short bio of who you guys are, where you're from. Anything that you'd like to share right up front with everyone?
Would you? Well, we're Kelly. Oh, I'm Kelly. Yeah. This is Doug. We're Kelly and Doug, and we're from the UK. And we basically just started a channel during lockdown and just thought, what can we do? And it's just kind of progressed and become everything that you love. And I kind of have to video and edit and make a video out of.
Yeah. Gotcha. Now, did you guys know up front, like the kind of subject matter that you were going to cover on your channel? Was it going to be like, was there an intention of kind of mixing gardening and running, or are you just kind of playing it all by ear?
It was, what was it? I can't remember what, he came up with an idea and we went, oh, let's make a video and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think we were videoing general stuff when we were doing out and about, and I'll probably say the first main gardening one come out, we had a question on Instagram, and then I thought, well, I've got the stuff here, I've got the camera, and I thought, rather than send a message, because I'm dyslexic, so I don't tend to write stuff that well, and it takes me ages, I thought the easiest thing to do was just video the whole lot, stick it on the internet for the world to look at, and then if other people get stuck, then
so cool.
they could watch it at the same time, and hopefully it will be of some value, really.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. The daily video, wasn't it?
No, it was a looping video.
Looping video.
A looping video.
About something else.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm so glad you guys got started, because, you know, when I first discovered your channel, I didn't even know, Doug, that you were a runner. It was just one of those things where I just loved the whole vibe of your channel. It was just such a nice getaway from all the usual noise. And you know, since then, discovering that you're a runner, and not only are you a runner, but you're an incredibly fast runner, it's just been sort of a bonus for me along the way. But let's go back a little bit. I just kind of want to go back to the beginning here, and let's learn a little bit about how you guys met in the first place, and how you guys learned that you had all of this stuff in common.
Have we got anything in common?
Yeah, we're quite good. We bicker quite a lot.
Yeah.
No, we love each other, but we do bicker a bit.
We've only got slight things in common.
Yeah, I think that we've got similar attitudes. We've got similar sort of outlooks on life. I tend to be the one who tends to go into things head first without thinking, a bit more, whereas she's generally a bit more sort of reserved and sort of, holds herself back a bit. In terms of meeting, we met, what, 15 years ago, maybe, somewhere around there, at a friend's, what do you call it, at a friend's engagement party. And it was literally just as I was sort of changing over, because I used to work at a garden centre, and then I started up my own business about, probably about just over 15 years ago now. And then, I was doing some bits and pieces, and then I just went with a friend to, and we just sort of hit off from then, really. And like I'd say Kelly's always supported me a lot with running and put up with it, which is nice, because obviously as a runner you go out and you're like, what time do you want dinner? And I'm like, I'm going to go for a run. And then, so it's, but she's always been lovely about it. And also, again, with races, sometimes I'd end up, especially when I'd only just met her, I would disappear off after not seeing her for a bit, and then I'd come back and go, oh, you've done a race, and then I'm like, oh, we got delayed. I remember when we first started, because I wasn't running that much then, I sort of took a bit of a break, but when we first met, I went to do a 5-mile race, and me and my friend turned up for it. Funnily enough, the friend that I went to the wedding with. We done. It was supposed to be a 5-mile race in Mersey. Because I never read anything, right? It turned out it was around the island, so it was just over 13 miles. I had to train for it. So I said I'd only be probably about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I ended up realising once we were about 3 or 4 miles into it, I had no idea where I was. So then we had to run the whole race so we could get back, so we knew where we were. Because I was running all right, and then I ran back and saw my mate, discussed it with my mate, and then then ended up completing the race anyway. And I think I was training probably about 5 or 6 miles a week at that point.
Wow.
So it wasn't ideal for doing that, but my mate, to be honest, he wasn't training a lot either. And my mate got 46th, and I think I got 4th.
Wow.
But it was a local race, which obviously meant the competition wasn't as strong. But yeah, I felt it the next day, like not training that much and going into that was not a good idea.
But man, it didn't seem to stop you from doing incredibly well.
Yeah, I've done all right. To be honest, it was 15 years ago. I was a bit younger then as well, so that I guess that helps. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, well, to switch gears a little bit, because even though I host a running channel, I'm still very curious about like the whole gardening aspect of what you guys do. Is that like something that you guys both share in common? Like I know you said you answered like some questions from Instagram regarding your gardening, but I mean, is that kind of a passion that you both share?
Well, you've done it forever, haven't you?
Yeah. So basically,
I like flowers.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can make pretty flowers in our garden. And he knows about gardening. I'm not very good. I don't make.
Well, Kelly, the thing is, I've seen, I can think even way back, like, to some of your videos where it's not just even gardening, but like some of the things I assume that were brought in from the garden, and you guys have done some amazing like cooking recipes and things like that. Like I get with things that seem to be like fresh out of the garden. So, like, I just love all that stuff. So I recommend that everybody kind of go check that out, and please keep that up, guys.
We cook very.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would say a lot of our cooking does come from stuff. Well, one, we know a very good chef as well, so if we get stuff, we can ask him.
Yeah.
And he's very patient with us.
And then we make our version of, which is normally quick and easy.
Yeah, it's quick. I remember we sat down one day peeling apples, or I did, and I peeled one apple, and he had literally done a bag full of apples in the other room, and I was proud I'd done one. So I know I'm not the world's best chef, but I enjoy it. And to be honest, in terms of produce, the part of England we're in, there's an enormous amount of places to get fresh produce. But because obviously I'm a gardener as well, I grow a lot. Well, I don't grow a lot. I grow a few bits of fruit and veg throughout the year. Plus the gardens I do and I maintain, I tend to end up getting bits and pieces from there at the same point. So a lot of the recipes do have food that has literally been dug up or picked a few hours before, and then we start cooking it.
Yeah,
I'm very, very lucky. I've got some very nice people I work for, and I would say, especially in terms of apple pies and crumbles, which I'll probably be doing another one soon. We do end up getting a lot of really, really, really nice ingredients to go along, and obviously with the eco element that I like to try and use local if I can, and I'm very, very lucky with that.
Yeah, and it comes across in the videos. I mean, it's just like every time you guys do something like that, I'm like, oh man, that looks so good, and it makes me want to go off and try it myself. So hats off to you guys. But
thank you.
But I want to dig a little bit deeper. I don't want this whole conversation to be about running, because I love everything that you guys do on your channel. But Doug, as I said earlier, I was a good way into watching your guys' channel before I even realized you were like what I would call an incredibly fast runner. Take us through, like, when did you start running? What's your whole running background, and where are you going with your running? I just would love to learn a lot more about that.
To be honest, I'm trying to get a bit more into running because this year especially, I don't want to speak about COVID, so I'll try and keep it as short as possible, but I reacted really bad to the jab. So I've basically, up until about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks, I've barely done any training all year. I think I'll put a comment in one of the videos that I've upped my training massively in terms of percentage because I want to get to the stage where I can start to feel sort of normal again. And I would say I'm probably about 3 months away from feeling sort of back to my old self, really. I raced two weekends ago, and I'd say I was about, to be honest, it was good conditions, and I'd done, I think, a flat 17-minute 5K. So it's not incredibly fast, but it's definitely running well. Yeah. In terms, if I go to background, my dad was an exceptional runner. Okay. Like, genetically, I've obviously been given a huge advantage because I don't generally train that much. I'm not very consistent compared to an awful lot of people. But my dad, junior level, was a sub 4-minute miler. Wow. So my dad was exceptionally quick. Yeah. So I've obviously got some very good genetics sort of to help me along. But in terms of general fitness, being on my feet all day gardening, I get an enormous amount of endurance. And in terms of it, I could, well, some days I could be pushing a lawnmower for, 11 hours. Then I could end up doing maybe 6 to 7 miles speed endurance work. And then I could end up running to meet Kelly at 10 o'clock at night if she's finishing or something. Gotcha. And then like I'd probably have like an easy day and then go and have a day just as hard as that again in 2 days. So the body's just sort of learned how to handle it. I think younger wise, I'm trying to think, I grew up sort of not quite like American countryside where there's nothing, because there's always something near you in England. Okay. But I grew up fairly sort of rural, and there wasn't really anywhere to go or much to do because I was so right out in the sticks. So I used to do a lot of running when I was a kid. We had a nursery which we grew plants on. So that's part of the reason I become a gardener, because it sort of made sense. I already sort of knew so much about it to start off with that it was an easy thing to get into. And being dyslexic as well, it's something you don't need to spend a lot of time reading or writing or other bits. So, and it's a bit like doing a garden is a bit like painting a picture. You get to put things in and out and change it, and it's constantly evolving. So it's got different challenges from all perspectives. And I'd say I've sort of gone back into gardening, but in terms of that, I'd say that sort of the two really do go together, because the training I do sometimes when I'm working, it's almost like cross training with gardening. I can spend maybe 2 or 3 hours with like a pitchfork, lifting up a load of hay and stuff, putting it into a pile. So I'm sort of adding to sort of endurance without actually putting so much in the legs sometimes. So I get a lot of cross training on top, which I think helps, because at certain times I don't train as much as I should. I'm with you. But I would say that when I do train and I go for a proper hard session, I will generally, unless I've got something planned at the end of the week, I will try and go all out. I tend to try not to hold back at all.
Gotcha. So I'm just kind of, just to circle back a little bit, like when you said when you ran when you were younger, when you were a kid, it sounded like you were running just for the sake of your running. Like, were you ever part of like a track team or did you do anything formal like that?
Not really. Like, I think in a way, I think my dad sort of discouraged it, because my dad sort of got forced into it, because he was he used to live by the White City track in London, which was basically sort of Olympic style. sort of thing. And I think I don't think he enjoyed it. I think they put so much pressure on him doing stuff that I think he was an incredible athlete, and he never ended up liking it. He used to just do the sessions and get out of there, and he felt it was almost like a job he wasn't getting paid for. And I think he wanted to install in my running that it's something you should go out and enjoy and appreciate.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So, yeah, I think he was more about that, which it was kind of him, because I'd say one of the things I like about being a gardener and not obviously be a professional runner is the fact that I can go out and just run for enjoyment, and actually it's brilliant. At the end of the day, I can like go out for a run and it just feels fantastic. Like, I've had some great race results, but I've had just as much fun running up a hill, like there being a double rainbow at the top of a hill, like a deer comes out of nowhere, like a load of woodpeckers shooting out in front. Like that for me is just as much fun as performing really well. It's just about enjoying the training and being out and about and appreciating the world, really.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm absolutely so glad that you brought that perspective, because, you know, I'm an older guy, and I only discovered running when I was like 42 years old, and which is 10 years ago now for me. And so my perspective on running has been, oh, I want to see how fast I can get in competition before I'm too old to have any speed left. And to kind of get a perspective, like the main reason I love the channel that the two of you host is because it gives me a little bit of a break from that sort of head down, grind it out attitude that I kind of have with running. You know, I love just kind of watching you guys do your thing, and it's so calm and it's so peaceful, and you have such a great perspective, not just on running, but on gardening and bringing the stuff into the house and just kind of enjoying that whole part of life, you know, like taking it slow and just like enjoying the process. And for me, it's invaluable. So keep doing what you guys do, you know, whether you realize it or not, that you're bringing something important to YouTube. So please keep going. And with that, I want to jump into a new question. You kind of covered it a little bit, but I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit more about what motivated you to not just start the YouTube channel, but to kind of keep going, and how you found your direction.
That's
a hard one to answer. We don't know, we've just carried on. People started watching, so we made more.
Yeah.
I don't know. You come up with ideas.
Yeah.
I went, well, here's the camera, here's a tripod, let's make it.
That's awesome.
That was.
Yeah, I think like my main perspective was that basically both of us have very busy lives.
Yeah.
And the idea was just to do something natural, and we think of something that we're going to do, and then we film it and we organise it, and we don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. We sort it out in about 5 minutes. Yeah. We video it, and if the whole thing falls apart in the middle, generally because we don't have a lot of time to edit, it just gets stuck in. So some of the videos can be a bit all over the place.
Which I love. I love that about it. So
I thought it's refreshingly honest, because I think that some people would be looking at our videos, deleting, editing. And I think it just I'd just like to be honest and think I'll chuck it out there, and I'd like other people, if they watch it and think, well, I could never do that, and then they look at our video and think, well, they messed up a bit, and then hopefully they would look at it and go, well, actually, maybe I'll try it, and then see, because if they can do it, then I can, because it would be nice to hopefully inspire someone who's almost got the confidence to do it, and hopefully I can sort of push them over the edge to give it a go. Because so there's been some lovely people commenting on our videos, and it's been a really good experience all round. And I was a bit, I'd say, not timid, but I would say because I don't have a big social media presence at first.
I remember we got he got like 10 views on one video. He was like, oh my God.
He got 10 views.
So exciting.
Yeah.
And they kept going up, and he was like, every day he was checking.
I'm with you. Yeah, it's amazing, because that's my whole favorite part of YouTube and all of the social media stuff is just exactly this. It's just talking back and forth with other people who kind of bring something to your life that wouldn't otherwise be there. Just like a nice little friendly chat with people who are interested in what you're doing. So that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are getting that same kind of thing out of it. I want to ask, what is motivating you guys now? Do you have like plans for the future, or is it just going to be, more of the same kind of thing?
Well, I think we're going to develop, but I don't know where.
Can we talk about your running?
Oh, my running?
Yeah.
We might make a video on my running.
Yeah, we're going to be...
Oh, my core attempt.
Yeah, she's
running.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, she's quite hard to control because she doesn't listen and we bicker, and she sort of gets grumpy with me when I tell her to slow down, or her feet aren't moving quick enough, or her arms are like Tyrannosaurus Rex. But she's improving, and I think when she's a little more confident and getting faster, we will do some videos together of that.
When I can run without stopping.
Yeah, she said. What are you hoping to complete?
The Walls of Lucca.
Yeah.
Which is what, 2?
It's about 2.5 mile run around the Walls of Lucca, but it's quite undulating.
It's very
so there's a lot of bridges where you go up and down.
Oh,
not bridges. They're archways. There's arches in there, so it's always going up or down slightly. She wants to do that. So that's our first challenge.
That's awesome. And let me just encourage you a little bit. There are so many people on YouTube, not the content creators, but I mean just the crowd, the people who come to YouTube to find running content. Don't feel like you guys need to wait, Kelly. Like don't wait until you feel like you can like run without walk breaks in between, because I think the earlier you guys jump in with that kind of content, the more you will encourage the new runners. I mean, I think you'll amass a crowd, a following behind you of people who are in exactly the same position, who want to see the struggles, who want to see what it's like to progress like that. I mean, that I think it would be wonderful, not just to see Kelly as she progresses through, and becomes a more accomplished runner, but I'm looking forward to that in a big way. And I'm also looking forward to seeing you, Doug, just kind of post some just mind-blowing times on various stuff. I know you're not very much into the competition. You're more into just enjoying the process. But I really think just watching you enjoy the process and do it in mind-blowing speed would really bring a lot to people like me who are trying to learn how to become a faster runner, like someone like yourself. So,
well, you're definitely not slow though, are you? That's for sure.
Well, I mean, that people say that, but everybody always wants to get better. So I always look to someone like you and I think, wow, whatever he's doing, I want to learn what it is.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'd say I think I'm doing all right, but one of the blokes at the club I used to train with, I'm trying to think. He's now in his 50s. Mm-hmm. I think he might be a year younger than you. Okay. I'm not 100% sure if I've got this right. I think he ran a 31-minute 10K a few months ago. So there's there's some guys I look up to as well that are like unbelievably fast. Like when he was my age, he was running on a regular basis sub 15-minute 5Ks.
Mind blowing.
Yeah. So there's some really, really good runners out there, and I'm like the club. I've actually changed club recently, more due to the fact that I wanted to do a race and I had to sign up to a different club, and I hadn't actually re-signed to my club because I haven't been running. So it's a pretty lousy reason to change club. A few of the other lads that I train with, they also signed up to a different club for that race, but I was the only one that hadn't signed up to the first one first, so I'm now first claim that one. But anyway, I've sort of gone off topic a bit. But where was I? I'll say I'm definitely looking forward to getting faster. I've got a hard training session tomorrow night. This is something I wouldn't ever suggest anyone to do, but I'm doing it. And I've done it the last 3 weeks. I've got a race on Sunday, I think about 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Normally the weekend's my long run, but I don't want to do a long run on Saturday because it will affect the race on Sunday.
Of course. Yeah.
So I've got I'll probably do about 7 or 8 mile fairly easy. Then I'm doing a speed session, and then whatever's left over, I end up rounding it off to about 18 or 19 miles. So I'm doing a long run plus a speed session in the middle, which isn't a particularly bright idea. So
well, I'll tell you, I did a very similar run last weekend. It just took it right out of me. So
yeah, I'm hoping, to be honest, I've done the same sort of thing 3 weeks in a row because of the way things have worked. I've got a lot of work on as well. I'm trying to catch up on, so it means that my training's a bit all over the place. So I'm trying to get speed session in, and then I guess the race will be another speed session on the Sunday. But yeah, hoping to gradually improve. I think another 3 months I'll be back to hopefully something normal, unless there's so much snow I can't run. But we'll see what the UK turns into. Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, at least you're getting cooler weather there. We're still suffering through summer here. It just doesn't seem to want to end. But,
it's been very cold today.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
That was yeah. I went out in a hoodie today, like for a run, and I actually didn't take it off.
Yeah, it's definitely getting colder here.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm just praying that it'll cool down here by December at this point. But cool, guys. I want to ask you, like, just kind of a left field question here. What is something that you guys would like to share with your followers that they might not already know about you?
We love Italy.
Yeah, they wouldn't know. They'd already know that.
Would they?
You're always bagging on about it. Yeah. Well, I guess before watching this, I wouldn't know we bickered that badly. Kelly, come on, you have to think here.
I don't want to put too much pressure on you. I think the Italy thing sounds pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, well, we both love Italy. We've been going to Italy for the last 10 years. If we'd thought about it before, we would have made lots of videos on Italy.
Yeah.
Which hopefully we'll do in the future.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: what are your favorite parts to go to? Like my family background comes from Italy, but I've never been yet. So I'm. What do you like? Are you like Southern Italy, or do you like the
Northern Tuscany normally?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we tend to do Northern Tuscany. We've been to all mainly north, to be honest. Yeah, we've been to Rome. We are going to do south soon because a couple of the guys that used to work with me, they're both from Calabria in Italy.
Gotcha.
And one of them, we said we'd try and go and see him one day and spend some time with him down there. He lives in Diamante, which is diamond in Italian, and
gotcha.
It's beautiful white sandy beaches, sparkling blue oceans. It's like the sort of Thailand style looking bit of Italy with the beaches. It's the best beaches in Italy. So it's probably not the best place for running, but definitely one of the nicest sort of places for swimming and relaxing. Although there's also some massive hills there, so it's good for hill training apparently.
Yeah, I would imagine. That's so cool. Yeah, I'm dying to get there. Just so I can say at least that I've visited. The town that my family originally comes from. But that's very cool. That's very cool.
Can I be cheeky and ask where your family originally come from? The town?
Well, it's Southern Italy. Just my grandmother's side is from Sicily, and then on my grandfather's side, it's oh, now I'm going to blow the name of the town. It's right by Pisa, and I'm going to blow it now. They're just south of there, but yeah.
Is it a big town or small town?
Fairly small town, and I'm embarrassing myself by not being able to remember it right now.
Sorry, we're putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I was thinking the only because we normally go slightly.
We normally do.
We normally do Pisa and Luca. I've done Pisa half marathon.
Okay.
A few years ago. It's good. The winner done it in 1:01, I think. So the competition is very high.
That's fast.
I got lost and missed the start of the race.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's not uncommon. I've got lost on 4 different park runs before, and I've missed the start of the race on multiple runs. Our coach that we used to have, do you know what the Ekiden relays are? Marathon relays? It's like a Japanese thing.
Yeah.
My coach, after the second year I was supposed to run the Ekiden relays, put me on the first leg every time because I missed the changeover so badly the first time I ever run it, that he didn't trust me, so I was always the first leg.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so he's obviously a good coach because I would have missed the start because I get to places with plenty of time to spare and then I just wander off and don't realise. So yeah, I'm an okay athlete, but you do need to make sure I'm paying attention because
I got you. I'm with you. Okay, I want to ask you a little bit of a question, a little bit philosophical here, perhaps. How has gardening and running changed your guys' lives for the better?
Well, it's relaxing, isn't it? It's therapeutic.
I would definitely agree with that for change. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And I like. I'll say it just makes you appreciate nature and stuff that's real. I think. I think when you're running, and when you're gardening, and you're all on your own, there's just those little things that happen that they're special. And I think sometimes when you've got a million things happening at once, you don't appreciate any of them. Whereas when you've just got one thing happening, you can actually appreciate it. That's like getting lost in the moment, whether it's running or gardening. It's that moment when you completely lose yourself in one thing. I think that is what you really appreciate on either.
It's that with gardening, sorry.
Yeah.
With gardening, it's that moment you're cutting down a flower and you think it's almost dead. You cut it and then a bee lands on it and it collects the pollen and you can watch it. It's that kind of moment.
Yeah, it's those small little things. I think that's the thing that I would say links the two together.
I think that's a wonderful answer because that's exactly, like I said earlier, that's exactly what I get out of your channel. It's like you channel that peacefulness, that sort of Zen-like, the world can disappear and you can just kind of relax and be a part of that small moment. And it's just wonderful to know that you guys are getting that out of your own content and just the way that you live your lives. I think that's just awesome. So I'm going to ask you one last sort of real question before we go into the ending here. I would like to know what you guys would consider like your favorite piece of advice for other gardeners and other runners and even other YouTubers.
Do it. Do it. Don't be afraid, do it. Whether it's running, gardening, YouTube, whatever it is, why not try? Sorry, you're going to have a better one.
No. I'd rather say something slightly different. I think appreciating failure. I know it sounds weird. Everyone's so desperate to succeed and do all these things. This is going to sound strange. I was quite lucky because I was such a failure at everything I'd done at school. By the time I left school, because I struggled so much with dyslexia, I got to the point that realised that it didn't really matter, that you end up succeeding anyway. Like you try and you try and you try, and the fact that I failed with so many things to start off with, that I think it stopped the fear of failing because I've done it so many times before. I think in a way I was sort of lucky because then I left school and grew up and realised that it sort of happens to everyone, and the way you succeed is to fail and fail and fail, and then you end up with success because you end up not being scared and you end up going for stuff you're not sure if you can do. And that for me, that's probably how I'd put it. It's just the thing of actually appreciating the whole process, that you need to appreciate the fails to then get the successes and enjoy it from that way.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Kelly, I love your answer too. I love the idea of just stop overthinking, take action. And I think what you said, Doug, is like a perfect continuation of that idea, because, you know, I'm one of those people where anxiety just hangs me up constantly. Like, you have no idea how scared I was before I started my YouTube channel. And just because I thought, well, what if it doesn't go well? What if nobody watches? What if this happens? What if that happens? And I finally kind of made myself do it. But I love the idea. I think you expressed it so clearly. Just the idea, just jump in. And there's no such thing as failure as long as you don't stop. You know, you're going to get where you want to get. Just keep trying. And, you know, that's the kind of thing I have to repeat to myself every day, in all truth, because like I said, otherwise anxiety will overtake me and I'll never get anywhere. So thank you guys for that. You know, I just want to say how much I appreciate you guys being on my channel. You know, I think this conversation was like just so, it was so straight ahead, and talking to you guys, I got exactly the same thing that I get out of your videos. It just kind of like, it was peaceful. It was straight ahead. It was a nice little break from, for me, the usual way of thinking, which is just kind of like grind it out, push harder. Just, you know, there's no time to enjoy anything. Just keep trying to go faster. And this was a nice little diversion from that for me. And I'm sure it's going to be for my viewers. And one thing for my final question for you guys is more about where people can find you on social media, because I want people to discover your channel for themselves. I want them to go over there. I want them to subscribe, and I want them to follow you and interact and comment, and I want your channel to grow. So please share where you guys are on social media.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's been
an
absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Really looking forward to being on your channel. So it's like, and I don't want to annoy other channels out there, but generally when you upload something, I always tend to watch your one. Even if I was planning on watching something else, if I see your one's popped up and you've got a video, I'll always watch your one first. So
I appreciate it so much.
And as for social media, we've got YouTube, obviously. We've got Instagram.
What are we called on YouTube? Advertise us again, quick.
I don't know, there's a link apparently.
Oh, is there? Oh, right.
Well, no, it might just be called @Kelly and Doug. I would imagine we are on YouTube.
Yep.
And I think we are on Instagram too.
Awesome. So
maybe
yeah.
We use that more often. We're going to do more Instagram. Yeah, we're going to sort it out. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. And don't worry about it. I will share all the links below the video so that people can just click it really quick and easily and get over to you guys. But with that, guys, I think that's about it. And once again, I want to thank you for being here, because it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
All right.
Amazing.
All right. With that, let me just wish you a good day, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.